All right, you get an example like this, right? So there's 5 examples, they have a lot of details. And what I wanted you to do is take that information and turn that into one sentence that has all your 5 W's and your H. The goal of this assignment is to teach you how to write a lead sentence. We talked about this many times. An article starts out with the most important information. I put an example here. So for people that haven't done it yet, shame, but you still have opportunity to, and you just need to do the other 4. And then the last thing was a quiz. So this quiz was very repetitive. If you looked at chapter 1 and 2, I gave you a quiz at the end of each of those sections. And then this quiz was a combination of chapter 1 and 2 quiz. So if you did well in the first 2 quizzes, this one would be easy. That was the goal. You were supposed to do it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That was assignments. So this week's assignments, we have, let me actually add it. You're gonna turn in a rough draft. So story number 1, rough draft. And I'll explain this in a second. Let me just, actually I'll create this afterwards. We're gonna take what our proposal is and make a rough draft out of it. But before we do that, let's look at the structure of an article. Go to Schoology and click on this one, news article annotation number 1. Click on it. And for this assignment, we are going to do it together in class. So as long as you follow along and highlight what I highlight and type what I type, you'll get full credit. Okay, so as long as you follow along, and you're going to submit it at the end of the class. So I'm gonna give you a minute to get this open. So go to Unit 2, go to Week 7 assignments, and then click on this assignment. It should make a copy for you. It's an article that we're gonna read and annotate together. So I'm gonna give you a minute to get that open. So get that open. I'm just making a copy of it so when we comment, I don't ruin the original copy. So make sure you click. I see some people have clicked on it. Not everyone clicked on it yet. Good job, Borelli. Good job, Fernanda. Good job, Joshua. Arlene, you still need to click on it. Angel, haven't clicked on it yet. Juan, good job. Edith Donnie, I don't think she's here right now. Alexis hasn't clicked on it. Maria, good job. Michelle, thank you. Carlos, no. Christopher, thanks for clicking on it. Luis, you need to click on it. Thank you, Joshua, Johnny, Denise, Daisy, Justin, cool. Chris, Brianna, thank you. Alexis, I don't think you're here, Alexis. Tyson, click on the thing. Are you having trouble? Brian?
It doesn't show you that I'm on it?
No.
It doesn't show you I'm on it either? Because I'm on it.
Oh yeah, maybe it's need to load. All right, so that's enough time. All right, good job, Brian. Good job, Tyson. All right, that's good enough. So make sure if you're having to do that. So all you have to do is just follow along. We're gonna look at it together. All right, so this is an article. It's a shorter article that I found online about schools and reopening. All right, so the title, limited reopening of LA County elementary schools allowed if waivers are approved. So this came out recently. All right, so let's comment on this. So highlight this, if you highlight it, and usually like this little box comes up about, oh, sorry, let me mess with this one so I don't ruin the original one. So a box comes up, right? And then I want you to add comment. What do you call the title of a newspaper article? We talked about this in week 1 and 2, chapter 1 and 2.
The heading?
Not the heading.
The headline.
Headline, yeah. This is the headline, right? So the headline, if you notice, it's very descriptive. It tells us what's happening. Limited reopening of LA County elementary schools allowed if waivers are approved. So it's not the sexiest headline. It says you need access. Headline. Aurelia, are you having trouble looking at it? Okay, let me fix this for you then. All right. If you are having trouble opening a document, I'm just sending you the document directly and you can submit it afterwards. So that should create, yeah. If you click on that link, and if it's not working for you, that should help you. All right, so that's called a headline. So I actually should look at the chat box. So yeah, it's right, that's the headline. We didn't go over this before, but you see this part where it says, actually, what's the name of the publication? The publication, so who published the newspaper?
LA Times.
LA Times, yeah. So that's what we call them, a publication. Los Angeles Times, right? It's easy. So we just comment on it. All right, we didn't learn the name of this, but we'll put it right here. The line under the headline that shows us the name of the writer and their position, we call that the byline. And actually, let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. We call that the byline, right? So B-Y-L-I-N-E, that is the byline. So far we have the main things. We have headline, we have the byline, and we know the publication was LA Times, right? We're gonna scroll down just a little bit. Actually, just in case I'm moving too quick, I'm gonna let you look at this for like 30 seconds. Yeah, you write the names of what they're called. So this is just like kind of notes we're taking in class using, you're just gonna follow along. And at the end of the period, you're just gonna submit this. So all you gotta do is just follow along. So we have the headline, we have the publication, and we have the byline, okay? So if we go down, we have this picture. So it's one of the, if you go to the LA Times from yesterday, this was on the front cover of the website. And so they usually have pictures, not all articles have pictures. If you notice, when we have pictures, we have like action shots. You shouldn't have a picture of just someone standing there smiling. It's not like a Facebook picture. Someone asked, how do you comment? You highlight a section, and then you should either press this button right here where it says open comments or comment, and you could comment right here. Or sometimes if you highlight something, this little box pops up, and then you click on this box and add something. Do you see that, Brian? Does that make sense? Got it, cool. All right, so far we have that. For our picture, keep in mind it's like an action shot. She's doing something. It's not her just posing. It's not like a Facebook profile. It's not like a selfie. So that is the difference. So right here. Uh-oh. Let's do some look at that. What we have here, the photo caption. The real name of it is called a cut line. C-U-T-L-I-N-E, cut line. That is the cut line right? So that's like the official name for it. The name for the photo captions, you might call it captions, but it is the cut line. And then the point of the cut line is to kind of describe the picture. I mean, you call it a photo caption, everyone will understand, but if you want to be like very technical about it, it's the cut line. And what you want to do, the cut line is shows as the subject. So the subject is Diana Torres. We have a present tense action, meaning it says teaches kindergarten students. So we have a present tense. We don't want the caption, the cut line to be in past tense. It shouldn't say Diana Torres taught student, because we want to show what's happening in the picture. And in the picture, it's happening at the moment. So what we have is a subject, present tense, action, plus her objects. So object is, if you know like well English, it's what's being affected by the subject. So Diana teaches kindergarten students. Everything else is extra information. Well, usually what you have is subject, present tense, action is object. So Cody Bellinger hits the ball, right? LeBron James shoots the basket. So we have action shots. We have the subject, we have the action, and then the object. Right here, we gave credits. So attribution to photographer. Anytime you give, or we call it photo credits. Anytime you have a picture, you want to give credit to who took it. All right, so that's all we did so far. We just kind of looked at the beginning. We have our headline, which is this one here. Our publication is LA Times, so that's just a term you should know. And our byline. Our byline includes the name of the author, which is Paloma Esquivel, and what's her role, which is a staff writer. The very first sentence in an article is the lead. This is the lead, right? So this is the lead right here. Remember, the lead answers who, what, when, why, right? So a limited number of elementary schools will be able to apply for waivers to reopen transitional kindergarten through second grade classes under Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors decision Tuesday that gives priority to schools serving higher numbers of low-income families. What they're trying to say is some schools in LA, for kids that are kindergarten through second grade, they're going to open up. We have our who, which is some schools. We have our what, they might open. We have our where, which is Los Angeles County. We have why, nope, we don't have our why yet, which is okay. And we see that. So this is our lead. The first sentence in the article is the lead. And the point of the lead is to tell you everything you need to know about the article. Even if I didn't read the rest of it, I know everything. This article doesn't have a nut graph, which is okay. But the nut graph usually gives us more information. What we then have is a quote. So as October approaches, it's crucial that we begin the process of reopening our schools at a limited capacity. So we're given this is our lead quote. So our first quote should be important. If you notice, when you put quotes, you have the quote first, and then you showed who said it. So we have, as October approaches, it is critical that we begin the process of reopening our schools as limited capacity, said Board of Chair Catherine Barger. There's several things I want you to notice about that. First, the structure. Quotation, quotation, or quotation, the actual quote, comma, quotation, right? We have that, we start with that. And then we put the attribution. Attribution is Give credit to the source. Who said the quote? For you guys, since you won't be interviewing people yet, you're just going to be taking research from what you find. You're going to look for sources. So we have a quote and we have who said it. Los Angeles County officials, citing high local COVID-19 cases rates, have held back on allowing elementary schools to apply for waivers to reopen, which are allowed under state guidelines. But some school leaders, particularly private school operators, have been using the county to rethink its position. All right. Even though they switched it around, this is our nut graph. Remember, the point of a nut graph is to give more information to what's happening. Provides more info. All right, so we have our lead, we have our lead quote, and we have a nut graph, right? So that's how we're writing the articles. This week, a coalition of private schools called on supervisors and public health officials to begin accepting waiver applications in which schools must demonstrate they have strict safety measures in place. The Palos Verdes Peninsula Unified School District has urged the school county to begin accepting applications. Barger framed the motion as one meant to help address deep inequities to distance learning that disproportionately affect the education of low-income and Black Latino students. Educators have also said that distance learning forced by coronavirus school campus closure is particularly difficult for the youngest elementary school children. So what we have here is we get a little more context. We get provides more background information. And what this paragraph does is elaboration, right? So remember the keys things, these are the steps. Elaboration gives reasoning and details. I'm gonna slow down just a bit because I might be going a little too fast. This is the lead, right? The first sentence. And then usually the nut graph is after the lead, but it's up to the writer. This is our lead quote. We have the quote. We start off with the quote. It's its own paragraph. And then we have the attribution. Attribution is who said the quote. This is our nut graph. The nut graph, remember, it gives the lead more information. So in this one, it is talking about why schools were closed, obviously for COVID-19. And then in the next two paragraphs, what we get is, remember, it's upside down pyramids, the inverted pyramid. We get to less important details, but just more extra stuff. Context means background information. So we find out that, that other schools are starting to reopen, and they're saying that parents and people have to sign waivers if they want to return. Then we get elaboration. It gives us more information on what is happening. They're seeing, and in this paragraph, they're saying that it's seeing that people that come from low-income communities, especially Black and Latino students, are getting affected by distance learning, especially younger kids. So it's giving us more information. They decided to come back with a quote. This is another quote. Larger states, county, and school districts have invested heavily in distance learning technology. However, gaps still exist that proportionally impact minorities and communities. All students are entitled to a free, appropriate education. So they get a quote that relates to the situation. So more quotes. Then you explain the quote. Explain quote with more context, declaration. Although state guidelines allow elementary schools to reopen under waivers approved by local health officials and the states, counties are not required to grant them. Los Angeles County officials have previously said that no campus in the county will be able to fully reopen until November at the earliest. So we have a quote that says that there are gaps in learning because of distance learning, right? So we have a quote that says that. It's a good quote. And then we have a quote, elaboration or context that kind of goes against it. It's saying that, well, that's happening, but our state says schools aren't allowed to open yet. So it shows a conflict. This shouldn't be here, the advertisement. You can delete that. Though case rates in LA County have shown positive signs recently, the county remains in the state's most restrictive purple tier, officials said. We're in a very large county, and the cautious approach, I think, at this point has been beneficial. Still, Farrar noted that she had heard from parents and educators who wanted the county to consider accepting waivers. All right, we're almost at the end of this. The last quote you put, I didn't even read the quote yet. It should be, we call it the kicker. A quote that causes, like a strong quote that causes impact. So whatever your last quote is, you want it to be like a strong quote. You want it to be something that gets the readers thinking about something, or it should kind of have like a lasting effect. All right, so the author here chose, I know that on my calls with educators and parents, there have been questions raised about, is there a possibility for us to reconsider, she said. That's her kicker quote. It's not that strong, but she decided to end with that, talking about how there is discrepancies with parents and educators want schools to think about reopening. The county has allowed schools to offer small in-person classes for children with special needs, and more than 5-year schools are open now under those rules, Farrar said. All right, so that's the end of that section. So what you're supposed to see, going from the beginning, we have our headline, we have our byline, we have our publication name, which is Los Angeles Times. This is our image. I want not the comment, so image, usually the image is something impactful. The caption for the image, we call it the cut line. It's usually presented in subject, present tense, action, objects. We give credit to who took the picture. So Christina House, she is from Los Angeles Times. The first sentence in your article is called the lead. The lead, it should have who, what, when, where, and not necessarily always the why. The lead quote is here. We start out the quote, we say who said it. Remember, if it's a person, it's their title. So it's a board chair, Catherine Barger. We have our nut graph. And then the story starts giving us more detail. So we should learn everything we need to know in the first 3 paragraphs, short paragraphs, and then it goes from there. Any questions? I need time to fix mine. All right, so I'm going to zoom out real fast so you can kind of see a little more. I'll be right here. Sorry, on this page, maybe go to 100. I'll let you look at that for a second. All right, so I'll come back to this in a second. That's the wrong class. Let's see. What you're gonna do, I need the first part, the link. Oh, okay. Right here, the first part, we have the headline, the publication, and the byline. All right, so I'll show that if you have questions about that afterwards. If you're done with that, and you want to turn that in today because that's an in-class assignment, you're going to click on that and you're going to click submissions and you're going to submit when you're ready, right? The annotations. Cool. See, look, Joshua did a good job. All right, so you get credit for just following along and doing that. What you guys need to do for homework, besides the past assignments, is, let me look at this. Add an assignment. So this is gonna be a rough draft. The due date is next week, right? I need a rough draft. So this is our first writing assignment. Story, article, number 1, rough draft. What you need to have when you're writing this is, first off, any story or topic that is happening right now. Research it. So hopefully you did your proposal and you're able to choose something. For your story, you need to have a headline. So try to think of something that works for you. You need to have a byline. You need to have a lead sentence. You're going to have a nut graph, a lead quote. You're going to have a paragraph that provides context. You're going to have a paragraph that provides elaboration. You can provide another quote. More context. You give us another quote if you want, but at the very least, we want a kicker quote. In total, you will be writing, it's not too much, it's about a page double space, which is 300 words. That's like a discussion post amount of length. So not too long, it's 300 words, right? So the way you're gonna submit it, I'm gonna create the assignment. You're gonna click on it and you're gonna submit, can you submit like Google Drive links to this? I don't know how it looks for you guys. Brian, what do you think? Or Tyson, anyone that's experienced?
Sorry, I can't hear.
I can't hear. So I guess when you submit something, either submit like a link to your Google Drive or like a Word document. But when you submit it, think back to our MLA formatting. So the way MLA formatting looks like, we did it in the past. If you go to week 6, you can look at any of these assignments. MLA formatting looks like this. So you have your name, my name, the name of the class, and the dates. And then you're gonna put your headline. Actually, you know what? I'll just make this for you guys. It might be easier.
I was just gonna duplicate the assignment and just like delete everything and replace it again.
Yeah, you know what? I'll just make it easier for you guys. I'll do it for you. So, story article number 1. All right, so we have that. I'm gonna delete this thing right here. Delete this. All right. Headline. Byline. And you put the dates. All right, so that's saved. Let's go here. No, not here. Week 7. I'll click on this. Let me edit this. All right, so now you don't have to, all you can do is just do the same thing as before. You just need to click on it. All right, so this is due next week. It's only 300 words. It sounds like a lot, but really it's only like one page of writing. What you need to have in it, as mentioned right here, is you need to choose a topic from a proposal. You need to have a headline. So think of a nice headline. Think of a byline. Write a lead sentence. Write a nut graph that gives you more information, the why. Write down a quotes. Give us context of the situation. Give us a little more elaboration. Choose a second quote. Context, and then add in your kicker quote, which is the last quote of the article. And that's all you need to do. So for today's homework, going back, let's go back to our agenda. All right, make sure you submit the article review annotation, that's classwork. And then for homework, do a rough draft. It's only 300 words. Okay, and I look forward to the topics you guys bring up. I didn't want to be restrictive this first time around. I just wanted you guys to feel free. So, you know, whatever you guys want to write about, write about it. Any questions? Someone asked, where can you send it to me? So you're not going to send it to me. You're going to just submit it as like the other assignments. You're not going to submit. So if you go to click on the actual assignment, there will be a button. It looks different for you guys that says submit, and you submit it there through there. Okay, someone asked me to explain the proposal again. If you go to week 6 and go to story proposal number 1, and same thing, you click on this assignment, it'll create a copy for you. The point of the proposal is for you to write down 3 ideas for stories you have. And you're going to follow the structure that I gave you. Tell me what the story is about. So we talked about this many times. All stories have a focus. Don't tell me you want to write just about the Lakers, right? What is the focus? What's so interesting about the Lakers right now? So for example, if you wanted to write about the Lakers, this is the first time in 10 years that the Lakers will return to the NBA Finals. That's interesting, right? If you wanted to write about the presidential debates, what about it? Well, you can write about how there was the two sides were arguing like children. You can write about what Trump said, some of the crazy things he said. If you wanted to write about baseball, the baseball bubbles in back, right? Lakers in 4, yeah, I think so. I got money on that, but so what you need to do is literally write your own proposal. If you want to use my examples, like my stories, you have to write it differently. But use this structure and write a proposal. So for example, let's say, can I use LA Times? You can use LA Times as research, but you want to use your own store, you want to write your own article though. So you can look up research, you can research from any websites, obviously, that is credible, but you're putting all that information into your own words. I don't expect you to have quotes, personal interview LeBron James, so you can use quotes from other publications. Does that make sense, Brian? Daisy, do I source back at the end? For this one, no, you don't have to. If you're taking if you're just taking a quote from a different publication, you don't have to cite that source. Daisy, did the proposal make sense to you? Okay, so I don't want to keep everyone here like you get it. If you completely understand what's happening, you're free to go. I'll see you next week. If you have any questions, please stick around.
Everybody, Tal.
See you, man. See you guys.
Have a good one, Tal.
Have a good one. So Sam, yes. If you set it works late, I'll be looking at it. It's just, we'll get there. And Sunset, oh yeah, have a good day, Daisy. See you later. Cool, see you later, Justin. Any other questions? Michelle said, so we picked what story to do from the proposal. Yeah, so you're proposed to me your story ideas, and then you could choose which one you want. If you feel like I can't think of anything, you could choose any of mine, but you still have to do a proposal of like a different angle. Angel, cool, thank you, man, see ya. Any other questions before I end the session? Yeah, so it won't let you submit it. So what you're gonna do afterwards, Areli, share. You're gonna see a button at the top that says share. Just share out that email address. Or just message me on Schoology and let me know you have done. All right, see you, Alexa.